Even though my video library is filled with space trucking simulator nonsense, that does not mean that I stay away from my primary calling, masturbating with hot sauce. I mean, girls! See, now and again I get my inner American urge to go to a third world country and ruin the fun by shooting everything that even dares to think to move. But yeah, ever since the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the idea of modifying guns got me hoping for a game, or even attempting to program something in-depth like that myself. Sure, most projects were scrap crap shits that tested only concepts of specific aspects. Still, when I look at Escape from Tarkov, I have the feeling that this would be something that I would eventually make if I were to follow a programmer's career. That is to say, make something full of bugs, glitches, shitty animations, poor level design, and bitch levels of network code, yet it would have that spark of inspiration and depth that no other game would. That to me is Escape from Tarkov, or Tarkov for short. So basically this, on the surface, is yet another early access shooter project. And not a game, because TheYamiks is an elitist prick who doesn't consider a game a real game unless it actually has been fully released. Anyways, this project is a simple shoot and loot style of game with one aspect that is godlike, and that's customization of weapons. The only other game that comes close to Tarkov in my memory is Ghost Recon Future Soldier, where you could modify guns to very deep level too. But what Tarkov often offers is even deeper. It's like the deepest econ measuring contest over here instead of the typical e-penis contest. I love it! This one shtick and few other little things makes Tarkov a cult game, where you might get an average general reception of the game as a whole, but gain a very small, yet hardcore following. And no wonder the game takes a lot of inspiration from Stalker games, even going as far as to have some of their devs, which also can explain the glitches and bugs too. Additionally, the project has quests that in-game traders offer to the player. Basically, the main game loop is to loot and shoot, but that gets really old fast, even when you have customization like that. So offering quests and progression in form of unlocking gear for traders is a wonderful combination. This is the power quest, even when you only have 3 types of them and you repeat them ad nauseum. Like go kill 10 Duraks, collect 10 pizdets, or deliver 1 unique blять. Even quests like these can make the game more enjoyable. Hint, hint, elite. Oh, and this game also has a story. Imagine that. I thought that nowadays FPS games are done with stories and just chased after the next big trend. But no, I guess there are still some that put in effort. Though Prepper calling me honey, yeah, that's just weird in more than just one way. Anyways, then there's the head hitboxes. That is, face and head have separate hitboxes for when you have the face shield or none. The whole broken or destroyed limb section is also a nice touch. Even though most bots will just kill your legs and then you can cheeky brreeki limp home in 1 fucking hour. But still, come on, how many times have I gotten my both legs, testicles, and schlong eviscerated by a fucking scav? So now, am I to believe that my character can still stand upright? Well, okay, yeah, it beats the whole, oh, a broken leg? It's time to crawl, asshole, from fucking DayZ. So I give the game that. Still, we need armored underpants. And speaking of broken limbs used for movement, depending on your weight, equipment, and your own set option, you can move slower or faster by using mouse wheel to dial in the speed. And of course, the sound will be depending on that as well. I do really like this granularity. Then there's also the fact that this is a hardcore realistic game, so you don't get a bullet count on your HUD or hipfire reticle, though that can be easily fixed by physically gluing a piece of paper on your monitor in the middle of it, if you don't want that immersion. But I do personally like it a lot. Oh, and then to top off the pile of in-depth things, there are also a shit ton of skills, though there's also skill degradation. So if you get sick or break both of your legs by attempting to do some cheeky brreeki squats in real life, you probably won't be playing the game for a while. Then tough luck, sukkable, all your skills will degrade. Oh wait, they took it out? Yay! But seriously though, this is a bad thing. If you want players to play the game, better reward them for playing, not punish them for not playing. Let's see, what else is good there? Oh yes, the day-night cycle is a really nice touch, and so is also the voice acting on both super hammy American characters.
Goddamn scabs. So, what do we have here? Damn, Ivans!
And on all the cheeky brreeki.
Кто на чем, чё почем, Ну чё, неплохой день, господа? Чё за хрень?
Though devs know Russian quite well, so get some really good swears in there. Come on, Russian language is like one of the best to swear in, and I know only a little of it, yet I know that much. But seriously, my virtual head goes off to devs for putting in such a nice work on voice, and also not being coy about the language. And the final good bit to mention is the heavy emphasis on really well done audio mixing and utilization. In very few games I've heard such a focus on details. See, in Tarkov, depending on your headwear, your audio gets distorted or altered. For example, there are military headsets that tune out low frequencies, leaving only higher ones to help you pick out the footsteps, or helmets that obscure your hearing ability. The emphasis on the little things like footsteps, crackle of branches or bushes, indoor reverb, the supersonic cracks of the bullets. Well, yes, it's nowhere near realistic. It sure is the best I've heard in any FPS game, or any game, in fact. I might be wrong, but Tarkov devs might just be the leaders in this particular field. Still, with all the good things, there's also a shit ton of bad things, and considering that this is a beta, or early access or what the fuck not else, you can bet your testes that it has more bugs and issues than a rabid chihuahua. The thing that I noticed when I first played with a friend was how wonky and janky and silly the walking and jumping animations looked. It's just silly. Then the next thing that annoyed me was the inability to make very small movements while at max speed by just tapping the keys a little bit. I understand that you get used to it, which I have, but the gold standard for FPS game movement for me has always been Half-Life and Counter-Strike, and anything that strays away from that just feels unnecessary and annoying, so I guess take it as you will. Though I gotta say that it's nice that you have a free head look mode, but it's useless! It just feels that your character is constantly wearing the dog collar of shame and is unable to turn his head more than 30 degrees to left or right. But come on, this needs changing. Even the fucking PUBG made it right. But returning to my first experiences, the first thing I always do is jump into game's graphical options. And to tell you the truth, I know Unity well enough to tell you that this list of options that is giving to us is bullshit. And most of all, how fucking hard is it to put in borderless mode? Seriously, this is like the simplest thing, yet it's missing in action like Unix sex drive. These days I honestly look at the games that don't have these options to be like the special kids in the kindergarten that eat sand and anything else that moves. It just feels like an amateur hour. Then let's see. Oh, and when you get comfortable with the controls finally, you'll start to play and get slammed with constant frame freezes because the server decided to load in something at random points. Seriously, this truly is an amateur hour and must change. Oh, but there's also the networking issues, and I really do sympathize with anyone that has to do networking, be that physical or programming wise. But come the fuck on, this is the key feature that will make or break the game. As for the main shtick of the game, the customization needs a fucking explanation on which parts go where, or which are even compatible, etc. The reason why most games tend to go for rather simple customization is this very same reason. Also, in Tarkov, most parts have little to no explanation as to where they go. And without Wiki, I would just have to experiment to learn which goes where. And for a game like this, honestly, that is not the best way to learn things. Sure, you might add these things in time, but that time cannot come soon enough. Oh, and talking about some more amateur hour stuff, the inventory. Holy shit, where to begin? Okay, so first off, when buying things, why can't you erase the number of quantity fully? You clearly know how to allow only numbers in that box, so why just not allow that fully to be erased? Also, why the fuck do we even need that fill-in button? Can't you just automatically highlight the buy button if the character has enough of the stuff that you selected? It literally skips the unnecessary step of filling in the box. Remember kids, the less clicks your user has to do to perform an action, the better. Also, the question why can't you move the fill-in button next to the buy button is beyond me. If you really still need that fill-in mechanic. And one more thing. You know what wouldn't hurt? Automatic sorting buttons for inventory. This is like the basics of inventory making, but I guess you really need to repeat this if the borderless mode is missing from a Unity game. Seriously! But so much quality of life improvements could be made by just improving the inventory. I'm not asking for much. 2 or 3 types of sorting techniques should be fine. And this especially should be considered for the traders. And no, those indicator things that extract certain types of items from traders do not count, though they're nice to have regardless. Still, from all the things presented today, I can tell you that even if I didn't know anything about the dev team, I could tell you that they love customization of weapons, sounds, and many other little details that I mentioned. The level of passion put in this project is rare to see being fulfilled, but here we are. Bunch of fucks with inspiration and will to create the vision they share. This certainly is inspiring. I really want to see this succeed, as it slowly has become one of my favorite games. I mean, upcoming real game. There truly is nothing like this anywhere on the market that would fill the innate weapon aficionado urge that I sometimes, well, quite a lot these days get. Oh, and I must mention that I knew of Tarkov's existence for a long time, but never really delved into it because, well, it looked a little bit too raw to spend, what was it, 35 euros? But then, one day, a friend and a supporter of mine just went up and gifted me the thing, so I didn't have that "I spent the money on it, so I must make apologies to feel like I didn't waste my monies" stuff. And guess what? I still fell in love with it anyways. So, a shout out to Follow Tech for being spontaneously awesome, I guess. Anyways, as I said, the project and the inevitable game mainly will be mediocre overall, but it will and actually does possess a very unique and depthful aspects that will make it a cult classic. Oh, and if any dev is watching, well, here are some suggestions that I noted while making the video and playing the thing. Adding some prepackaged gear bundles would be a nice thing to have, so you don't need to buy ammo, weapon, mags and other stuff separately. This would simply save time, helping players to make quick and dirt cheap raid builds. Then, if you guys take so much inspiration from Stalker, why didn't you just copy the game's inventory system? Especially that you don't need to open a separate tab to sell or buy crap. Just combine them, and yes, exchange items will have to have their own tab, but this just saves time. And finally, yeah, I see that you like AKs. A lot of them. But, could we have Spaz 12? Sorry, I mean Sapaz 12 or FN 2000? You know, those are rather iconic and cool weapons. So, please? Anyways, there you go. My little tirade on the top pizdettes. I mean thoughts on the relatively soon to be real game. Let me know what you think of the game or the video, and dislike or like accordingly, and subscribe if you did. Wait, is my thumb actually now the attachment? Oh my god! He appears, he disappears, he appears, he disappears, he appears, he disappears, he appears, he disappears, he appears, he disappears. This is... I can't see shit. Okay. Much better. Yes, much better. This is so stupid.